What's up, my man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Man, dog, I got my black two sugars. I'm curious, man. What do you got for me?
I just want to talk a little boxing. I want to hear a little bit about you,
Okay.
your journey. So let me start. Where are you from originally?
Chicago,
Chicago.
Dogtown, brother.
Okay. Okay. So did you ever box yourself?
Yeah, man. I never did, like a real amateur bout. I was training for it. I was very excited about it. Because, my family, we're baptized in combat sports. My father was in Taekwondo. He loved boxing. He almost achieved black belt before he passed away. He was a belt away from it. So I joined Taekwondo. I did boxing, but I was also like, should I get this degree? I was pursuing my degree.
Right.
And I got knocked out in sparring. And I was just
Okay.
like, you know what, man? Like, I got knocked out bad. Like, I couldn't remember. So I was like, you know what?
Well,
Let's see what's up with this degree.
how long had you been boxing before this happened, before the sparring incident?
Well, actually joining a gym,
Yeah.
I was only doing that collectively, altogether, maybe 3 years. But I was on and off.
Was the person you were in with, were they a lot more experienced?
Very much.
See,
Very much.
I grew up boxing, man. That's some punk shit,
Yeah,
really. If
yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, I was very aggressive and I was doing very well.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I was doing very well, and they were trying to tell me I had like a huge flaw, and they kept trying to tell me. So I think they put this guy in here to say, look at here, bro. This is what can happen if you don't keep that opposite hand up enough. So
I got
he
you.
caught me in exchange, and I was doing well too until
Are
then.
you
So
are you a big dude? You a heavyweight? What are you?
um, well, I was just sparring, period. But at the time, I was 155.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I went before, and I went the name ShowBizz The Adult. Please explain to me the origins of that name, because it's different.
Yeah, I know. It has no boxing in it. It took years for people to even find me because when they search boxing, I don't show up,
No.
right? So I was a rapper, man. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. So I
okay.
was rapping for years, me and Black Son. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, actually almost had a deal with Bad Boy back when I was in college.
So,
And
okay.
yeah,
Wow.
and P. Diddy, he wanted to see how strong the group was, I think. So he threw out this thing. He was like, out of the six of you, only three of you are good. Y'all figure out the three,
Oh,
and then y'all come back to me.
fuck.
Yeah. So we all argued about who was better than who. I think he threw that out there just to see how strong we were as a group, and we fell apart. So it showed that we weren't
That's
ready.
some
We weren't ready.
that's some maniacal shit though on his part, huh?
Well, that's Diddy,
Woo,
but it's brilliant at the same time. It's brilliant at the same
I
time.
suppose.
So I started with that's how I kept my name as ShowBizz The Adult, rapping, because I had this album called Weirdo.
Okay.
And I said, well, my wife, Miss Biz, she said she thought I was a better personality than rapper. You know what I'm saying? Which is not a diss, it just that's what she thought. So
Right.
I said, you know what, but let me do the social media thing, and there's nothing I love more than boxing. I turned on that camera and that was it. Like, I was getting followers and stuff pretty quickly. So
Yeah, you have a very different style. It's always right up in your face, and you're always animated. And no, I like it, man.
oh,
I
thanks,
like it.
man.
Yeah, of course. So, so Chicago, I'm cool with Montel Griffin. He's my boy. He's a
Word.
Chi-Town guy. That's my
Yeah.
boy. Fred Kendo.
No, unaware.
You don't know who that is? He was a heavyweight in the '90s. Puerto Rican cat, but from Chicago.
Word.
Fred,
Oh,
you know
I
Fred.
do. I didn't know him
Yeah,
by name, but I know exactly what you're talking
shaved
about. Yeah,
head.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Frez, and then I'm trying to think what are the
No,
best fighters out of Chicago?
Montel, that's our guy.
That's your guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chicago isn't really known as like the best, boxing place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Too
So,
cold.
but I think it can grow. We got some independent gyms and independent promoters trying to start something. You see like billboards off the highway.
Right.
So I'm going to see if I can like participate in stuff like that. Make Chi-Town, more of a boxing city,
Okay.
especially now.
Do you work out still? Do you hit the bag? You mess around or no?
I slowed all that up maybe maybe a year or so ago. And that was because I just tore my shoulder up. I mean, look, I have 2 torn patellar tendons. I tore my rotator cuff and my pec off the bone and my bicep.
Ooh.
Right? So as I've gotten older, you know, even if you look at my videos, sometimes I do this. As I've gotten older, just the wear and tear, the arthritis and stuff like that, hitting the heavy bags just been wearing me out. So I kind of really stopped. I still lift, I still exercise, but I lift light. A lot of cardio. I got to stay in shape. I can't really do any combat really anymore. I donated, especially after my 2 torn patellas. But I donated my kidney to my brother.
Oh.
And the idea was, hey man, no body shots. Like, chill out. So yeah, I'm sitting down speaking boxing more than
You got
anything.
1 kidney left. Oh, good one though.
Yeah, good one. It's a good one. It's a good one.
That's great, man.
The story behind the black 2 sugars, by the way.
Go ahead.
Because my medical team needed me to be as healthy as possible in order to donate my kidney to my brother.
Okay.
So everything I did, I was trying to have the healthier way, healthier. I love coffee. So I never drank it black before, but I just wanted to make sure that I was as healthy as possible.
Right.
So I could be approved
Right.
to be a donor. So that's how I started the black 2 sugars.
Feel you. I feel you. Wow. Okay. So before we get into a little current boxing, I want to ask, who are your top 5 greatest of all time?
Who I think are the top 5 greatest fighters of all. You know, here's the thing. Let me give you a preface. There are fighters that I would like to include into my top 5, and I'm just trying to see who I would like to remove. You know, right now, currently, I don't have Sam Langford in my top 5, and he's probably the greatest fighter to ever live. I don't have Jack Johnson in my top 5, and he's probably the most impactful, I know, fighter who've ever lived.
So one of the most dominant too.
Right, and dominant, right, and his record doesn't reflect that because they removed.
Nobody did back then, though.
Excuse me. They can't hear. Anyway, hold on. Let me tell him.
Yeah. I thought he was home, or maybe he is. I don't know. It's a ride though. Dempsey, yeah. Kung Fu, I agree. Dempsey is, although Kung Fu, the hell's his name? Jesus, the guy who beat Gene Tunney beat Dempsey, and Gene Tunney's one of the most underrated. He only lost 1 fight, and I think it was some bullshit. And he's only got to beat Dempsey twice. So.
Shoot, I forgot to tell him. Okay. All right. So top 5 greatest fighters of all time, pound for pound.
Yes.
Number 1, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Okay.
Number 2, Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Number 3, Henry Armstrong. Okay. Number 4, Joe Louis.
Great list.
Yeah, thank you. And number 5, Willie Pepper. Now,
so I agree with all that. The one thing, and I get a lot of slack on this, is I would put Roy Jones in there because of his what he did in his prime. It was like watching a Corvette amongst a bunch of Pintos, right?
Right, facts.
But when he lost and he got older and he had all the losses by knockout, you know, and Roy's my boy, but it diminished it, and people seem to forget what he did for a good 15 years solid.
He was the most impressive fighter I've ever seen. I mean, live, watched.
So why not put him in? Because everybody's criteria for greatest is different. Like I include the prime. I don't include the whole thing because a lot of fighters go too long. Floyd though did the thing where 50-0 undefeated. What's your criteria though for the greatest fighter?
Impact. A lot has to do for me, not just dominance, right? Not just their fighting ability and skill, but also impact, right? So that's why I say greater and better are 2 different things. There's not too many fighters. My prime example that I always use is I think Pacquiao was greater than Floyd Mayweather, but I think Floyd Mayweather is a better fighter. Now, if you think Floyd Mayweather is greater, fine. I can understand that. But I personally think what Pacquiao did was greater than what Floyd did.
Right.
But Floyd, I think, will whoop his ass 10 out of 10 times. So when it comes to Roy Jones Jr. as the best fighter I've seen in their prime, Roy Jones would be one of them, right? Like as far as fighting ability, Roy Jones would be one of them. Another one is Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is, when it comes to greatness, not Jack Johnson level, you know, not even Jack Dempsey level, not Harry Greb level, right? Benny Leonard and all those boys. But physically, what he can do, like if this was intact longer, this guy would have been one of the most dominant fighters to ever fight.
Right. So, like, I don't know if you know my background, but when I turned amateur, I moved up and I lived with Kevin Rooney for about 2 years in Catskill, New York. So the first style I learned was that.
Peekaboo.
And when Mike Tyson was with Kevin, that Mike Tyson could have given any heavyweight in history a run.
100%.
But the problem is, and I'm from New York, like, but that Mike Tyson was only about 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And after Buster Douglas, Tyson lost every mega fight that he had.
Right.
But you're right, and his prime, with the speed, the power, and perfecting Cuss's style, he was very difficult to beat.
Exactly. See, and that's the thing with Roy. Roy Jones, I can't think of too many fighters who would have beaten him at middleweight. The guy would have been a great fight for Sugar Ray Robinson, Leonard. This guy is insanely good. But when it comes to greatness, a lot of it is not in his control. He didn't have the fighters that Sugar Ray Leonard fought. He didn't have the fighters that Duran fought. He just didn't have those guys.
Right.
It's like Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes didn't have that heavyweight environment that Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and them had. If so, he'd be greater to me. But as far as abilities, Larry Holmes one of the better fighters you're gonna ever see.
Right.
So that's what it comes when it comes to greatness. You know, Willie Pep, he was in an airplane crash and he fought a little bit after that, like 2-3 weeks. I don't know how long it wasn't long before he fought after that. I mean, like you have people, Sugar Ray Robinson going 40-0, lose to Jake LaMotta same month, get the damn, and that was in February, get the title back, and then go like 90-0. Like that guy is Harry Greb going what, like 40-something and 0 in 1 year. Like that guy, that's some great shit. You know, that can't be replicated. So that's why when I say great and better, it's kind of two different things.
I agree. You know, that's a good list, and you know, there's a lot of people interchangeable that can go in and out. Okay, so do you have a favorite fighter of all time? Do you have one specific that you think your favorite, not favorite, but your
Roy
favorite?
Jones Jr.
Good
Roy
man.
Jones. Yeah, Roy Jones Jr.
Good man.
The guy was ridiculously dominant, and like I tell people, I watched Roy. I was in that era.
Me too.
I remember the G-Man. I remember Mike McCullum. I remember Julian Hawk Jackson. I remember all those guys, James Toney and Montel Griff, all those guys that were there. Roy Jones Jr. was so levels ahead. And I know the G-Man beat him in amateurs, but that's because Roy Jones tried to fight his style. He purposely tried to outslug him, and it was a close amateur bout. But Roy Jones was just levels ahead and levels ahead of Floyd. I remember Floyd and Roy existing at the same time in their prime.
In their primes, yes. And nobody questioned who was the better fighter.
Exactly. It's kind of like when it comes to hip-hop and Jay-Z. I remember Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, Biggie all being there, and Jay-Z really came out after those brothers passed away. After Roy kind of left and his stuff, that's when Floyd came in. Great. Jay-Z's great. Floyd is a great all-time great fighter. I'm just saying when they existed at the same time, brother.
I agree. I'm with you. And, you know, I asked Roy recently, I go, what would you do differently? He says, well, after hearing how they talk about me now, he goes, I would have retired after the first Tarver fight.
Right. Because
if he does that, he walks off in the sunset as the greatest of all time.
Right. Yeah, if he does something like that or stay at heavyweight, even lose at whatever it is. But he did some like he did that, came back down, which no one does, regained the title. He could have walked off there. But here's the thing. I argue that's why Roy is so great. He's crazy. And his ego is insane.
Yeah.
He put himself at a deficit that people really don't do anymore.
Yeah.
That guy literally said, you think you beat me or you gave me a good fight the first, I'm going to shut your ass up when he fought Tarver again. That's some crazy shit. That's why he's so great. That's why Duran's so great. That's why Leonard fighting Hagler is so great. He risked it all fighting Hagler. The guy is insane. These are, I say, Errol Spence, if you want to, transition, Errol Spence, look at what the guy is nuts.
Yeah.
The guy's nuts. Thrown from a Ferrari and all that shit. The torn retina and all, and still was like, I'm going to stay at 147, knowing he's been in 147 his whole career to 33 years old. Nobody does that. And then you see him get beat from pillar to post, and I understand Terrence Crawford better than him, but I still give love to the fact that he did that insane psycho Holyfield.
So